Welcome to Notes from the New Heaven. Join me, Reverend Sage Cole, founder of the Helen Keller Spiritual Life Collaborative, each week as I share different doctrinal truths of the new church that ground my life, that inspired the life of the great Helen Keller, and that create a portal for the new life that so many of us long for. This week, spiritual freedom. Spiritual freedom is an essential of the new church. Emanuel Swedenborg saw in his experiences of the spiritual world the statement, "Now it is permitted to enter into the mysteries of faith." Whereas before, faith was something that you were taught and encouraged to accept without a lot of questioning and doubt or discernment, Swedenborg saw that we were entering a new time where it would be integral for every person to investigate any truths that were offered or suggested. That to be a person of faith was to be in freedom to inquire and to be intentional about witnessing and taking seriously our own inner experience. Spiritual freedom is an invitation to have a direct relationship to God, a direct experience of the divine life within, and to take our own experiences of that life seriously. It's so resonant with many passages in the scriptures, and I'm particularly thinking about the passage from Revelation, where we hear that in the holy city, God will be with us and be our God. We are meant to have this direct relationship. And in the new church, that direct relationship is really important. It's essential. As we come into that direct relationship in freedom to feel how God speaks and connects to us in the most intimate of ways, allows us to live in alignment. I know in my own experience, when I think back to, I'll be 50 in January, so when I think back to maybe my first 4 decades of life, I recognize that while I sought to be free, often what felt like freedom was really actions of escape or rejection. It was often a pinging back and forth inside my heart and my mind, where I would do things in a spirit of freedom, but then other parts of my psyche would jump in and cause me to feel guilty or rejecting of myself. And so there was often a lot of inner turmoil. I'm not saying that inner turmoil has completely ended, but it's definitely softened up. And part of the softening has been, from my perspective, a deep engagement with this invitation to freedom. To recognize that the freedom that God wants for us is alignment, wholeness, an accepting of all that we are, and a belief or a commitment to understand that in the center of all of that is something good, something free, something loving that wants to be expressed in the world. It seems like it may be very true that to come to that place of loving, we have to go through a lot of this inner turmoil and conflict. We certainly hear that as well in the scriptures. I'm thinking of the story of the prodigal son, whose first understanding of freedom is that experience of being able to reject, being given the opportunity to leave his father's house. But then we learn that the real experience of freedom was his ability and his freedom to return. And the spiritual freedom that is most essential to the new church is that spiritual freedom to return to ourselves as beloved children of God, and to return to an acceptance, a curiosity, a love, and a commitment to the life that is flowing through us. And as we do that, that's when we experience true spiritual freedom. It really is the freedom of surrender, of accepting life as it is, and recognizing that we have a role to play in our own lives. It's accepting and appreciating, feeling awe and gratitude for this life, versus the freedom that we have to reject our own lives and to reject the life that is given us. It's the mystery of freedom. On one level, it's the freedom to reject. It's the freedom to enter and create hell if we choose. Or It's the invitation to embrace this true freedom, which is accepting and loving and being curious about the life that we've been given. As Independence Day comes this weekend here in the United States, I invite you to consider this invitation to true freedom and what that true freedom really might make possible for us as individuals and as a species. To really embrace your life, embrace all the experiences of it. And if you're in a state of inner turmoil, of rejecting yourself, moving this way, moving that, to even embrace that, to consider and understand that even in the midst of that turmoil or struggle, there is love, there is curiosity, there's compassion, and there is freedom. We have a lot of limitations in this material existence. I don't have the freedom to turn down the temperature of the sun or to shift the essential nature of my body. I'm born in a particular part of the globe that I exist in. There are limitations to this material form. And there is this incredible infinity within us, this divine life within us that wants us to be free. And when we bring that spirit of freedom into our material bodies, that's when it gets really exciting. And that's when the possibility of the new church coming to earth really gets going. Thanks for tuning in. And if any of these truths particularly speak to you, I hope you'll join us this fall for some larger conversations that I want to hold, because I'd love to hear your experience with them. These truths only are true insofar as we live them, and I'm so excited to hear about your experience. Many blessings, friends.